Hi, I'm Lee Carnell.
And I'm Katie Carnell. We're going to show you how to make a Thanksgiving turkey. The turkey's been sitting in a brine for 24 hours in the refrigerator. Now I'm going to take it out and rinse it.
Now, there are many ways to make turkeys, and this one is a traditional way many families use to make their Thanksgiving turkey by roasting it, but the prep work is in the brine. You can smoke a turkey, you can fry a turkey, but today we are roasting a turkey. Yeah, the brine is really salty, and so in order to make the turkey as tasty as possible, we have to rinse it clean to not oversalt.
And the reason you brine is because turkey meat gets really dry, and it's kind of a tougher meat, so this helps the meat to be tender and helps it to retain moisture. We're just going to rinse it really good and then dry it. So we want the turkey to be as dry as possible so that when we rub the butter on it, the butter will stick. So we're going to pat the turkey to make it as dry as possible, because the most important part happens next when we put the butter. You also want to dry out the inside of the cavity. This was a fresh turkey. You can buy frozen turkeys as well, but then you have to prepare many days in advance so that you can let the turkey thaw. So it's best to buy fresh when possible. So we're going to set this to the side and let it sit and dry while we make the herb butter. Do you want to cut these herbs? Okay, so we're using fresh thyme, rosemary, and sage, and we're just going to mince those really small and put them in this bowl with half of this cube of butter. This is a step that you don't have to do. We just like to do this because it really adds a lot of flavor to the meat. We're going to put this butter actually between the skin and the meat. So we're going to loosen the skin from the chicken breast and the legs and rub the butter into the meat underneath the skin. If you want to skip that step, you can, and then you just put plain butter or herb butter on top of the skin. These things you're not going to eat. Some people stuff their turkeys with meat or a bread mixture, but they really recommend not doing that anymore just because it takes the bird longer to cook, and sometimes the inside of the stuffing is not cooked enough and it can make you sick.
That's not safe.
If you do not brine your turkey, then you're going to want to add salt to this butter as well. But because our turkey has been sitting in a salt solution for 24 hours, we don't want to add any more salt to it. All right, so I start from the neck area, and you want to pull the skin and just very gently, there's kind of a membrane in there. You want to break between the membrane and the turkey breast.
You want to be, whenever I do this, you want to be aggressive to get in there, but not too aggressive, because you definitely don't want to break.
You don't want to rip the skin.
Yeah, you don't want to rip the skin.
Okay, so the skin is loosened now. I'm going to take the butter in my hands, stick it under.
One of the best ways to keep a turkey moist is to keep the outside almost lubricated with either oil or with butter like we're doing here. It also gives it flavor, but it also helps make the skin crispy.
Yeah, you can do this without putting it underneath the skin, and you can just put either butter, or if you don't want to use butter, you can use oil as well.
Okay, so next we have to move the turkey from the cutting board to the pan. But before we do that, we're going to use a little trick. We're going to put these carrots that are unpeeled, raw carrots, in the bottom of the pan, and we're going to sit the turkey on top of the carrots. And that'll keep the turkey off the bottom and help
so it doesn't get soggy. So you can use carrots, you can use foil that's been coiled up, whatever you have around. So next we're going to put a bunch of pepper inside the cavity. Put the onions, lemon, and then some more rosemary, thyme, and sage. So now we are going to kind of rub the butter in our hands to get it soft. And then you just massage the turkey, the legs, and the breast. So now it's going to go in the oven. All right, so the oven's been preheating. It's at about 250 degrees Celsius. You can put it at the max and let it cook at a really high temperature for 20 minutes. Then we will check it and turn the temperature down to let it roast the rest of the way. So it's been about 2 hours in the oven and we're ready to take it out. As we take this off, you can tell that the turkey is very golden brown from all of the butter that we put on there. If it's not brown, you can put it back in the oven for a few minutes on broil, and it should turn it a nice brown, golden, crispy color. So now we're going to put foil over the top and let it rest for 20 to 30 minutes before you cut it. If we cut it now, all that butter and the juices that we've been working so hard to get are just going to run out, and then you have a dry turkey. So we're going to cover this and let it sit for 20 minutes.
We've been spending a lot of time talking about the turkey, but there are several other dishes we talk about and we consume on Thanksgiving Day. Right here we have some dressing, and then we also have mashed potato, which no Thanksgiving dinner is complete without. And then a very traditional fall dessert is pumpkin pie.
We hope that you've enjoyed learning about some of our traditions. Happy Thanksgiving from our home to yours.